good evening, everyone. I hope you're well. Happy Saturday. And let's get straight on with it. Pleased to welcome tonight from Wales, Rosey Cale.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Staying dry.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Well, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was kind of one I was sort of apprehensive from because I haven't done one in months now. So yeah, it's nice to be back on one.
Yeah, back on it. Fantastic. Do you want to kick us off with a song and we can chat a bit after?
Of course. So I'm going to start with the first song I released back in 2016 now, which seems like forever ago. And this one is kind of a breakup song, and it's called Walked Away. You painted me a picture of what my life could be. Then you scribbled your black marker on it like you were 3. Screwed it up in a ball and didn't make a sound. You left your head in the clouds, but my feet are on the ground. I thought I was lost, but actually I found you need to grow up, get out of your head, start being a man. I thought I couldn't get over you, but it turns out I can. I didn't want to be another story, so I don't want to stay where I'm not wanted. I just need to say that this girl has walked away. Walked away. You had high expectations of what you looked for in a girl, and I was way too small for your giant world. 'Cause I'm definitely not perfect and I don't have a million fans. But here's a fact about you: you're not Peter Pan. You need to grow up, get out of your head, start being a man. I thought I couldn't get over you, but it turns out I can. I didn't want to be another story, so I don't want to stay where I'm not wanted. I just need to say that this girl has walked away. Walked away. You said goodbye so easily, and it made me wonder why. Until I saw you stare at her with a glimmer in your eye. So promise me something if it's the last thing you do. 'Cause she's a lovely girl, don't break her heart too. You need to grow up, get out of your head, start being a man. I thought I couldn't get over you, but it turns out I can. I didn't want to be another story, so I don't want to stay where I'm not wanted. I just need to say that this girl has walked away. Walked away. I've walked away.
Awesome.
Oh, it's ringing. There's so many comments coming in.
I know. And there's actually a question. I'll ask you this question now. Are you planning to release any singles this year?
I am indeed. It's taking a little longer than I expected, actually, because I want to sort of make sure that everything I put out is just sort of the best I can. And I'm currently doing a course alongside sort of my normal self-employment as well as having a job. So it's finding the balance of releasing stuff and making sure that it's all good enough to go out, I guess. So I will have stuff released this year, and there is definitely a single coming fairly soon. So yeah.
Awesome. How have you found lockdown?
Each one has been really different. The first one I didn't work at all, and I tried to sort of stay afloat as sort of a self-employed musician, and it just wasn't possible as much as like I could do sort of live streams and do sort of the PayPal system, and I just felt like it wasn't keeping me afloat, and it was quite hard. I did have a lot of fun sort of creating and writing and becoming sort of fitter and healthier, and that was great, but the financial side for me was really tough. So then the last sort of couple of lockdowns I've been working and trying to sort of do college work alongside work, and so I haven't really stopped. I haven't had time to sort of dwell in the doing nothing, and it's been definitely different from the first one.
And that can be a good thing as well, can't it? Really?
Yeah, completely. I'm definitely one that enjoys a busy lifestyle rather than a quiet one.
Was it something you was singing and acting, I should say? What was it something you always wanted to do?
From a very young age, yes, but not in the ways that I expected. I never thought that I'd be writing songs and playing my own stuff. That was something that came much later. I loved musical theatre and writing poems, but that was as far as I got with writing. And then it wasn't until my late teens then that I started writing what I thought was poetry had turned into lyrics, and sort of journaling had become lyrics.
Yeah, because obviously you've had a few songs out as well anyway, so you've been quite, really, compared to you've had quite a lot out, haven't you, really, compared to a lot of other artists, independent artists?
I've been very lucky to sort of do a lot of projects and acting and releasing stuff that, I mean, none of it was necessarily planned years in advance. It was all, what do I feel like doing, or what opportunities come up that I say yes to straight away. I don't like to say no to many things because I think every opportunity can give you something else. I remember going to, and I had an experience quite early on within songwriting and gigging, that I'd gone to an event and I thought nobody was listening to what I was playing. I thought I was just background music and everybody was chatting, and I was used to that. I was part of gigging. And it was probably like a really low moment turned into a really high moment, because I thought, I'm tired of not being listened to. And then there was just somebody sat in the corner of the room that was sat, and he just was, I knew that he was the only person in the room that was really paying full attention. And I just thought, I'm going to play for this guy that sat there and like actually sitting and enjoying it, because he just seemed, you could see in his face that he was. And he ended up asking me afterwards to go out and play in Germany, which is how I ended up playing in Berlin a couple of years ago. And it ended up being for the biggest theatre convention in the world. And I was like, oh, okay, I can get like an experience from something that I thought was going so badly that actually was a huge opportunity to come from that.
Definitely. And it goes to, and I say this to loads of artists, it goes to prove you just don't know who's out there, whether you're at a gig or whether it's online, who's watching. It's just that one person, and obviously for you it's paid dividends. And I tell everyone that you don't know who's out there. And I think more online, because obviously there's a bigger network online, whereas say Wales, it's not a big network, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. It's great. It's brilliant. Is that there's loads of messages here.
I've noticed that there's a lot of
your favourite person, Craig, is here.
Hi, Craig. I see Steve is on here. Michael, two Michaels.
They're all here. It's fantastic.
Amber's one of my closest friends from home, but she's actually living in France at the moment, hence her little bonjour from the corner.
Oh, wow. Well, it's a good place to be. I suppose. But then again, I think they're under lockdowns as well, aren't they? So
I think they've
yeah.
got curfews.
Have they? Oh, okay. Maybe not the best place to be then. So yeah, do you want to play us another song?
Yeah, of course. So this one was a very personal sort of song when I first wrote it, and it was more for myself to write about an experience that I'd gone through. So I had anorexia nervosa growing up as a teenager, and really struggled with body dysmorphia and sort of thinking I was fatter than I was, and just struggling with the sort of normal hormones of a teenager with a mental health issue. And this one I wrote for myself, and it's slowly become a song for other people the more I play it. So I hope you like this one. This one's called Mirror Mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Tell me why you think it's fine to make a frown out of a smile. When will you begin to learn that judging looks is starting to turn the world into a place where all they care about is weight and hair? Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell the girl in front of you she is beautiful. Mirror, mirror, don't you see that the girl in front of you is not happy? Mirror, mirror, tell me why you had to make that young girl cry. Mirror, mirror, you don't see that girl has inner beauty. Mirror, mirror on the wall, stop your judgment, stop them all. You once made me feel like I wasn't perfect, so I tried to hide. Perfection is so many's goal, but their failing starts to destroy their soul. Mirror, mirror, now you see you have no power to control me. Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell the girl in front of you she is beautiful. Mirror, mirror, don't you see that the girl in front of you is not happy? Mirror, mirror, tell me why you had to make that young girl cry. Mirror, mirror, you don't see that girl has inner beauty. You can judge me, you can make me feel like life ain't fair. You can distort me, creating images of me that aren't there. Take your lies, I may not be perfect in your eyes. I don't care what you say, 'cause no one's perfect anyway. Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell the girl in front of you she is beautiful. Mirror, mirror, don't you see that the girl in front of you is not happy? Mirror, mirror, tell me why you had to make that young girl cry. Mirror, mirror, you don't see that girl has inner beauty.
I love that. Your voice is amazing. I've got to say.
Oh, thank you so much.
I've heard it a few times on the live streams last year. I was like, wow, okay, fantastic.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
And everyone seems to agree with your voice. Absolutely talented. Yeah. Jonathan, I remember Rosie from last year and thought she's so talented. I like this
thank
comment.
You, Jonathan.
This is brilliant. Jumps gone back, seeing Rosie's back on live streams. That's fantastic. Peter, awesome song. I was just about, is there anyone you would like to write a song or duet with? That was going to be one of my questions.
Oh, there are so many good songwriters out there that it's almost sort of impossible to choose just one. I mean, I would love to duet with either somebody like Hunter Hayes or Sarah Bareilles. That would be like a dream lineup. But I would write with, I really like Maisie Peters' writing at the moment, and I think she's a force to be reckoned with. And I just think I'd love to get in a writing room with her and see how she comes up with sort of all her lyrical genius moments. Oh God, there's so many people that I could choose from. Liz Rose, one of like the top Nashville writers. She's incredible. Yeah. anyone. I could write.
You're right. There's that many, and especially through lockdown, you've come across even more as well. I know I have. Yeah, there's that. There's that many. That's a really tough question to answer. Ben's been not a question, but thank you, Rosey, for such inspiring writing. Your music in lockdown has been like a. That's nice.
Thank you, Ben.
So,
God, it's so nice to see so many of you, because I've spent so long obviously not doing live streams, so it's really nice to see that like familiar people are coming back and not leaving me behind.
It's great. So when it comes to writing, do you prefer to write by yourself or do you prefer co-writing?
I've only ever done one co-write. That was with Amy Wadge. And I really struggle with co-writing just because I'm very self-conscious about sort of opening up to people. Whereas writing for myself is something that I do to open up. But I think I do this year, once things start easing a little bit, I do want to do some more co-writing with people, but I prefer to do it in the same room as somebody than over Skype, just because we can both sit with guitars or pianos and write and have that back and forth. Somebody can carry it on and there's no issue with Wi-Fi, and it takes away some of the self-consciousness if you can actually do it live rather than not on Skype.
Yeah, and of course, if you've got instruments there, you can probably put a bit of music to it as well, which
for sure,
which would be good. Yeah, I think it's a tough one. I've spoke with people that love the online co-writes, but then there's others like yourself who don't like, who have tried it and they don't like it, or they're scared of trying it, and yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I think if you're used to co-writing, I think it's a really useful tool to have Skype. And I think a lot of people who were traveling around the world are realizing that actually it is possible to stay at home for a few co-writes and then go away for different ones. But if, for example, myself, I'm starting out with co-writing, I find that quite difficult because I've only experienced it in real life once. So to do it over Skype is just very daunting.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. But there's some people bringing some fantastic stuff out. Collaborations, which I find absolutely incredible, really. With people maybe on the other end in another country, and they're doing the music side, and it's quite incredible, really. And I think it has helped a lot of musicians in this time, because I think if this had happened 4 or 5 years ago, I think you all would have struggled even more, to be perfectly honest. You know,
I think everybody is so thankful that the internet is a thing. I think had this happened sort of 30, 40 years ago, I think we would have massively struggled. So
yeah. This is it. Michael's comment today about Amy Wadge, Grammy Award winner with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, she's somebody that I met through a show that I was performing in, and she wrote the music for the show that I was in, and she came to the premiere, and she was so lovely. And I thought, if I don't ask her if I can co-write with her, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. So I just went up to her and I spoke to her and I said, please, can I co-write with you? It would be an absolute honor to write something with you. And she said, absolutely, come to my house and we'll set something up. And it was just such a crazy experience, but I'm so glad that I had the guts to say, I want to go write you, do please. But yeah, so a very great opportunity that I think a lot of people wouldn't have passed up.
If you don't ask, you never know unless you ask. You
Exactly.
just don't know what. Yeah. Do you still keep in touch with her as well?
We're sort of friends on social media, and every now and then I'll sort of drop her a message or whatever, but I don't like to be too pushy either. I don't know where I stand. So I'd prefer to sort of take a step back, and then, but I know that I've messaged her again in the past and said it would be lovely to write, and she said the same thing. So I hope in the future that we get to do another one. But personally, I just don't like being the pushy one.
Yeah, well, when things get back to normal, which will be sometime, yeah, sometime soon. I'm just you obviously do acting as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Have you done many shows, or have you just done the odd one?
So we did. So with the show that I was performing in, we've done it quite a few times. We did it as a very small show originally, and that was only in Swansea. And then we took it out to Hong Kong at the start of 2019 for a festival out there, and that was incredible. But that was more of it was kind of a live sort of concert version, I guess. And then the same year, then we did a tour of the show around the UK, and that was so much fun. I've never done a tour before that, and just to experience all the different theatres around the UK and be able to sort of say, oh, I've performed on that stage, or like I've been to this place and this is where I toured. And so it was a very good experience. But I've done little shows around that, but nothing major. I'd love to do a bit of TV, but that's something that's just a dream at the moment.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's much going on at the moment, is there?
Exactly.
Auditions wise, would you say you'd like to do the West End as well, if possible?
Do you know what? I trained in Guildford in musical theatre, and I loved musicals so much that I almost put it as I'd never get there. So it's on a pedestal for me. If I ever had a show on the West End, I think it would be a dream come true. But I also really admire the people that can do it for months and months and months, the same show over and over again. To find that new energy every single show is something that takes a lot of discipline, and to make it fresh and new for your audience is, I mean, doing a tour for 6 weeks was tough, but doing it for 12 months or more, I can't understand how difficult that must be at times. So yeah, I really do admire the West End. I'd like to do a short show in the West End, but I don't think that would ever happen.
It is, and they must enjoy it to do it, to start off with, to do it that long.
Yeah.
But it's and dedicated. I can't imagine. It'd be like an hotel and then to the theatre every day, wouldn't it? I mean, it's a big ask. It is a big ask. Yeah. So, would you like to play us one more song?
Of course. So I'm going to finish with a happier one. I haven't played this one in a while, actually, but it's about just that one person in your life that it's a phrase that I was told a lot when I first got with my partner, that so and so is a keeper, and I took that and wanted to write it into a song. So this one's called Keeper. I'm actually going to change the capo up. There we go. drives you to the coast when you're feeling down. Makes you laugh so hard to turn your frown around. Takes you home to meet his mom. He's not afraid to say he's wrong. Does what he can to help his grand. Doesn't care if it takes longer than he planned. Always thinks of others first. Loves you even at your worst. I'm thinking, Dad, I'm a lucky girl. That's when you know he's the one. He'll move mountains for your love. You found a keeper. And he'll give you the world. Show the world that you're his girl. You found a keeper. Makes you breakfast in bed with a cup of tea. Tells you that you make the perfect team. If you fall, he'll pick you up, give you every time you mess up. He works hard to make you proud. Not afraid to say he loves you right out loud. He is crazy, kind and smart, but he's so gentle with your heart. Looking down, he's a work of art. That's when you know he's the one. He'll move mountains for your love. You found a keeper. And he'll give you the world. Show the world that you're his girl. You found a keeper. Mountains for your love, you found a keeper. And he'll give you the world, show the world that you're his girl. You found a keeper.
Yay. That's awesome. I love that. Your voice is amazing. It's really good. Question here: do you have any CDs or music available digitally?
So I did have CDs, and the first EP I sold actually was, all the CDs were sold last year, but all my music is on Spotify and iTunes and YouTube, and anywhere you fancy downloading it, it's available online. So yeah, please feel free to go and stream to your heart's content.
Excellent. Harry's coming to best wishes for future juggling work, music work and studies. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
That's quite full on. How are things in Wales at the moment? Are they gonna improve? Do you think?
They seem to still be talking about what they're gonna do. So I don't think there's anything particularly set. But we've had a bit of a restriction release with being able to go outside for a walk with somebody else from a different household. So that's a little bit of positive, I guess.
Yeah, if you can get that. So, what have you got any plans for this year? Are you making plans for this year? Or are you just waiting to see what happens?
I've definitely got a few singles I'd like to release. I'm working on a couple of projects that are just, every time I get a free moment to do part of a project, I'm trying to do it, but it's taking a bit of time just with everything else. But yes, there will be lots of things happening, hopefully, in the next few months. So keep your eyes peeled. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
so
tend to do, I'm trying to do covers as well, every couple of weeks or so. So hopefully, even if there's no original music in the next few weeks, there will be some covers. So you
everyone
can
get
find me.
your requests in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Anything you
get your
fancy.
fantastic. Well, thanks for coming on. It's been really great having you on.
No, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it's been so
No,
nice.
no, it's been fantastic. Thanks to everyone who's watched as well and commented. And there's a lot of people out there that obviously love you, which is absolutely fantastic. And hopefully more will come across you through this. Because I only found out about you really through live streams last year.
Oh,
So that's
really?
why, yeah. So
Amazing.
yeah, and that's how it works. So it's been fantastic. So yeah, thank you for coming on, and thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, if you're about tomorrow night, everybody, we've got another live stream at 9 o'clock with Kylie Trout from Nashville. So we're back on tomorrow night, and we're supposed to be on Monday night as well, but there'll be more about that nearer the time. So yeah, thanks to Rosey for coming on, and I hope everyone has a good Saturday night.